Bet you were wondering if I was ever going to start the video, weren't ya? Hi, friends. Happy Not Tuesday. As most of you may, I'm taking my phone out of my pocket just so I am not distracted, and I'm setting it down, face down, out of reach, because my time with you is important. By the way, that's one of the things that I like to do when I'm out with friends. I know I have to keep my phone on me in case the husband or the daughter or somebody calls, but I always feel like it's a common courtesy to show who I'm with at the time that they are most important to me, to just set it down, face down, out of the way. That way it's there, and if I really need it, I can get to it, but when it's face down, I'm paying attention to you. So that's what I just did. I prioritized you. Happy Not Tuesday, friends. For those of you that have been around my channel for a moment or two, you know that on Tuesdays I have been uploading weekly videos to give you a little glimpse into what I'm working on in my sewing room and just talk about personal life. I call them vlogs. Sometimes they're not vlogs, sometimes they're tips, tricks, techniques, or maybe a tutorial or two from every so often, but it's always a pre-recorded video on Tuesdays. This weekend, however, I did not have time to record a video, let alone edit it. Oh, excuse me. That is very weird. I had a little bit of dinner on my lips, but I like to do those on Tuesdays, and I didn't get a chance to do it because I had a house full of company and work has been very crazy for me. It's been very busy, which I am super grateful for, but I don't see that slowing down anytime. And rather than just skipping an installment in the vlog series this week and just waiting until next week, I thought, why not do it as a live? Spoiler alert, that does mean that this won't be as polished and concise as my normal weekly video would be. So I figured in today's video, we're going to do a couple of things. Number one, we're going to do a little Q&A. I have got the chat right here. Right here. I can see everything that's coming. So if you have any questions, just tag me at @SewBecca. I will try to answer and respond to anybody that tags me. Secondly, I've got a few packages down here that I need to open, 3 boxes and a small package, to be honest. So we'll try to get through those 4 items. And then thirdly, I want to talk to you a little bit about what I've been working on over the past week. So let's just go in reverse order. Let me first tell you what I've been working on. And I apologize, I don't have pictures to show you, nor do I necessarily have quilt tops that I am ready to reveal yet. I do have a couple other things though. First thing that I've been working on, honestly, gosh, I'm gonna get it. I'm just gonna get it. I'm just gonna get it. That's just what's gonna happen. I'm sorry. I said I wasn't gonna do it, and then I did it anyway. All right, so the first thing that I have been working on is the Puzzle Mystery Quilt clues, and you can see those. I'm not gonna have the clues, but I did work on that Friday night. I worked on clue number 2 for Carnival. And I did that on a live stream. So if you want to see how that turned out, you can go back and check out that live stream. This past Saturday night, the only sewing I did on Saturday was on Donna's channel over at Handmade by Ying. And we put together, nope, that's the wrong thing I'm going to show you. We put together this quilt block, which is block number 1 from Sewology. There are 2 thread spools and an embroidery floss skein here. I love how these turned out, but I want to talk to you about how this went together, because if you tuned in to Donna's live stream, then you saw the hurdle, or you saw the hurdle where you're trying to overcome. So if you look at these 3 blocks that are laid out in front of me, this one was the most complicated, and we decided, because it was fresh in the evening, we were going to do the most complicated one first because our minds were a little bit sharper. And I don't know why. I didn't do anything different for this one or this one, but for some reason, all of my stripes they kind of came out a little wonky. I actually, I do know what happened. I don't think I was lining up the top and the bottom and making sure that they matched properly in the raw edges. And so I would be off by just a thread, but that thread multiplied by 12 seams, as you have here, caused the block to kind of go like this. It wasn't wonky in that it was not laying flat. It was just at an angle. And I tried to fix it by introducing some more starch. And even though the fabric was starched before I cut, I introduced a little bit more starch, which caused the fabric, I think, to shrink just a little bit because I starched a little heavier. And so at the end of Donna's live stream, these stripes, some of them were being held into the block by just a thread or two. And so Sunday morning when I woke up, I decided I really needed to redo that. I did salvage all of the other pieces of this block, but the purple and blue, I had enough fabric in my block of the month kit to recut and resew this. So now this is the way it should be. I will point out there are a couple of points that aren't exactly perfect, and you know what? I'm going to leave it because I don't have enough background to redo it, and it's just not worth it to me. Overall, I feel like this worked out well. So this is one of the two things that I worked on this weekend. The second thing that I worked on is a personal sew that is using FPP. And I want to talk about this a little bit. We're going to show this too in a minute, but not yet. So here's the story behind this. Let me get the little pattern. My friends that go to the Alabama retreat, the Alabama retreat girls have been talking about this gentleman, David Gilliland. David Gilliland had a sewing center in or near or outside of Atlanta, Georgia, if I understand them correctly, but in the past year or two has been suffering from some health issues. And I don't know how much of this is public. I don't even know that I fully comprehend everything that he's going through, but I know there are some health things that he is dealing with. I also know that he is known amongst my group of friends for FPP, but not just any FPP. He's done something a little different. He has written FPP patterns and prints them out, but the way he prints them isn't just on paper. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So inside this little pattern pamphlet, this is to make a mug rug, and there's enough templates and foundations in here to do 6 of these mug rugs. He prints them on this, I don't even want to call it paper because that's not doing it justice. It's almost like tearaway foundation like you would use for applique or embroidery. It doesn't rip terribly easy. It's not super thick, but it is sturdy and it can take a whole lot of stitches and some ripping. So all of his patterns come with this, the templates print or the papers or the foundations or whatever it's called printed out on this, and he calls it David's Ready Remove. You of course have your instructions in here as well and some other tips and tricks on it, but I wanted to show that to you because he's got a number of these patterns on his website at vectorquilts.com, and he had a sale for 25% off, and so I went and did a little shopping. I bought 5, I think, and I believe he sent me an extra one for free, which was very kind of him. And that was my personal sew this weekend. So I decided I wanted to do this block, but I didn't want to do it in the colors that he has represented here. I wanted it kind of similar, but I wanted my own colors. And I struggled with this one for just a moment. What fabrics should I use? Well, I decided on Tula, and this is my block. I pulled the blue and the purpley pink geode from her True Colors line, and then that black Fairy Frost ink to make this block. And I gotta tell you, if I had to choose between this one and this one, I'm going to choose my black. I like my colors better, but I really did like how he had the black integrated into the background. I felt like it made the colors pop. So this is my block. If you look very, very closely, the center is off just a little bit. The points are all there, but for some reason the seam isn't perfectly lined up. So I just tell you to take about 3 steps back and it looks just fine. It's only off by like 3 threads, maybe, if that. So this is what I did. There's enough of the foundations, which you can still see here in the packet, to make 5 more of these. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this. I know I want to make some more of these. I will tell you there are very, very tiny pieces in this, which I absolutely got a kick out of. I thought it was awesome. It did take me a while to do it. And now I want to tell you one more neat thing about it, because this is a selling factor for his patterns. These foundations, according to David, from what I have heard, do not need to be removed. You heard that right. You don't need to rip these out. They are set up to partially dissolve in water. And so what he said you could do is just leave this on the back and put your quilt top together. So this is going to help stabilize your fabric, keep it from stretching when you're putting all the blocks together. You can just leave it on the back and then you put your quilt together, quilt it, and it's just always there. You don't have to take the paper out. So I'm not ripping any of that out. It's going to stay. So let me know in the chat or the comments down below if you're watching the replay, which of the two color schemes do you like better? Do you like my blue and pink or do you like his blue and red? I'd be interested to know. Before we go too far on, I did see a couple of questions in the chat and I want to take a minute to stop and answer those, and then we'll move on to the next section. BJ Bible said, so Becca, where can I find the videos for what you and Donna are working on? I purchased the pattern and want to sew along. So if you do exclamation ying in the chat, you'll get a link over to her channel. You can hop over there. The video that we did together Saturday night was a live stream, and it's got both of our pictures on the thumbnail, so you can find it that way. Right now, I believe we are bouncing from channel to channel. That's the plan. So on the odd numbers, she will host, and on the even number months, I will host the live stream over on my channel. So month number 2 will be in the month of October. I think it's the first Saturday in October at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we will be here on my channel. And I do need to get a blog post out. I got to talk to Mary to help remind me to do this. I need to put a blog post on my website that lists out all of the dates, the times, and the channel location so that you can go and find it. And I'm probably just going to go ahead and schedule those lives so that there's a link to the live stream and you don't have to hunt and peck for it. So that's the first question. Seeing lots of people say hi, hello. I see all of you saying hi, thank you, so thank you, thank you. Susan Year Out said, so Becca, how long have you been on YouTube and what made you decide to do a YouTube channel? That's a great question. So I have been on YouTube since 2019, no, 20, no, 18. What was the year that Jenny Doan did the very first Advent box? She called it Jenny's favorite things, not Jenny's countdown to Christmas. Whatever year she did that for Christmas, I can't remember if it was 2019 or 2020. I feel like it was 2019. I know it wasn't 2020, but I can't remember if it was 2018 or 2020. But whatever answer that is, that's the answer. I can tell you the first visions that I had for the channel were just doing unboxings. I saw a number of other content creators doing it, and I felt like it was fun and I wanted to try it too. But ultimately I did decide I eventually would want to change the channel or direct the channel towards teaching and showing off my passion and my art. So that's kind of the direction that I'm taking the channel in now. It's really more of just an avenue for me to help share tips and tricks for the quilts that I'm making in case you want to make them too. And hopefully I'm inspiring you and building you a community that wants to do the same thing too. I have a passion for teaching, I have a passion for quilting, I have a passion for tech, and YouTube allows me to combine all three of those things. So let's see if there's any other questions in the chat. I see lots of people still saying hi, just saying hello to you too. Okay, don't see any other questions there. Let me scroll down. 2019. 2019. Thank you, Teresa. 2019. They're both nice, multi-stitcher says, but I think I prefer the pink and the blue. My colors are more vibrant, aren't they, Michelle? Yep. So, all right. So that's the first thing. Again, if you are interested in this, maybe somebody in the chat, maybe one of the moderators, Teresa, I see you there. If you can just put a link for www.vectorquilts.com. That's David Gilliland's site. You can see it right here. If you want to check out his patterns. I did get more than just this one. I just decided before I jumped into one of those big projects that I bought, I needed to do a small block to see if I really enjoyed it. Ah, Mary, thank you. Mary says 2018 was your first unboxing. Thank you. I felt like it was a sew sampler box too, if I'm remembering correctly. All right, so that's that. The second thing, what's that link? There you go. You know what? I will just do this because I can. It is David Gilliland. David's FPP site patterns are vectorquilts.com. And I will copy and paste that because I didn't create a command for it, but there it is in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, the links, I'll put those in the description box down below the video. Okay, the second thing, sorry, I just saw this one pop up. Sue wants to know, Becca, when are you going to play with your hand crank so you can sew during your next power outage? It's a really good question, and I'm going to say probably when Tiffany is here. More to come. Your oldest video was 2012, your mom's Christmas gift. Look at you guys. Look, no problem, Teresa. Just copy that so that you have it. No worries. Do all of his patterns use that kind of paper? Linda Denton's asking. Yes. I think you can buy, there might be some patterns that you can buy PDFs for. Obviously, it's not going to be printed on that paper, but if he prints it and says that the foundations are included, they are included. He calls it David's Ready Removal or Ready Use or whatever, something like that. So yes, that's it. Jackie says, your oldest video was 2012, your mom's Christmas gift. You get a prize for digging into the Sew Becca vault. Man, so I did have a YouTube, like I did use my YouTube channel as a personal way to store videos for family and friends that I thought were funny. So there's a number of them out there. Some of them might still be public if you really go digging, and some of them might not be. A lot of them I know aren't. But that's what I originally did back in like 2010, 2011, 2012. And then when I pivoted to use it for a quilting channel, I just marked most of those private. So, yep. Small and big patterns. Kate says, yes, lots of patterns on the website. Barb says, I just printed out the Sewology block of the month. Looks interesting. Might just make wall hangings. Hopefully I can sew along with you and Donna. Hey, that's the one thing I will tell you about the Sewology. So it's going to make a really decent sized quilt when it's all put together. But if there's just one element of that quilt that you just really like, just make that one block and turn it into a wall hanging. Boom. Or make a series of wall hangings. I think that would be fun too. All right, so I'm going to shift now to talk a little bit about Mom because you guys have been asking about this and I want to make sure that I'm showing you what she's done. So a couple of weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, or a week and a half ago, something like that. It was on a Friday night. Mom and I decided we were going to do a jelly roll race, and that video has been watched about 10,000 times. So I think there's interest in seeing the quilts. My quilt is not finished. Mom beat me to it. I do have the center built. Everything that is done in that quilt, I did in a live stream, and I have not done a single stitch on the rest of the quilt. I will eventually add the borders. I just haven't felt the gumption or the motivation to do it yet. I've been working on some other things. So I've decided to switch gears a little bit and show you the quilt that Mom worked on because she's gone. She's left to go home. She got home last night. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. She's at home now, and it was really important to her that the 3 quilts that she started while she was here were finished. And I'm just looking really quickly to see where the 3rd quilt is. So I can't, there are 2 other quilts that she did, and I don't see them immediately jumping out at me, so I can't show them to you. Sorry. I was going to get them if I could. But what I can show you is the jelly roll race that she made for me, which is what we did on the live stream. So she took a True Colors jelly roll from Tula Pink and put it together, just joining the strips straight edge, not on the diagonal. And she didn't put any extra fabric in between those jelly roll strips. Then, after the jelly roll was finally built out, we did a 2.5-inch strip of fabric of that black fairy frost around the inside to kind of give it a stop, a nice frame for the quilt. And then we took this, which I think this is from like the Daydreamer line, but the ombre I thought was really fun and really nice. And we used this as a big 5.5-inch print for the outer border. And altogether, I think it measures like 64 by 70 something. So it's a good size throw quilt. I don't know that it'll be a bed quilt, but she did get this quilt top finished. She also finished, oh, there it is. She also finished one other quilt, which I will show you right now. It is her charm square quilt. And so for this one, she stole from my shelves a charm pack of the Seashore Drive fabric line from Sherry and Chelsea, which is one of my favorites. And she just wanted something that she could work on individually on her own without asking a lot of questions or doing a lot of extra work. So what I did is I told her, excuse me, I told her to go pick from my shelf a piece of fabric that she liked that went with the squares from the charm pack. So that's what she did. She went to the shelf. I gave her some options. I helped her pick a color, and she went with this orange. This is actually a Christopher Thompson print. I think it's his line is called Blossom. But the color, as you can see from the border print, matches perfectly. And all we did is we cut 2.5-inch strips by width of fabric from that from that yardage. And then she used that to basically build a border around each of the 5-inch squares from her charm pack. And then once that was done, she put 7 rows of 6 together and then added an outer border, and she's got a nice size quilt, which I think looks pretty dang awesome. It is just now, it's almost as tall as I am. So it's not quite bed sized, but it's a decent size. So those are the 2 quilts that she started and finished. I feel like there was a third jelly roll race, which I don't see when I'm scanning the room. So I showed you 2 quilts. We'll give you the 2 of the 3. Michelle the Quilter says she's learning very quickly, very straight lines, and love the colors. She's doing really well with it. She's got a couple of tips that are helping her. The first one is for making sure that she's picking the right colors. You know, you can not worry about that by buying a pre-cut, right? So if you get a jelly roll or a charm pack or a layer cake or a fat 1/8 bundle or a fat 1/4 bundle, it's going to be, honestly, like all the fabric's going to work together because the designer curated it to work that way. So you don't have to worry about making sure that all the fabrics play nicely together. That work has been done for you. The second thing is when you're picking out new fabric to go with that pre-cut, if you stay with the line, obviously that's going to work. But what I've been helping her understand is she doesn't have to look at all the colors that are in the quilt. She just has to find the one color that she really loves the most, and we will match fabric to that color. We don't care about what else is going on in the quilt because, let's say, for example, that orange, right, that she had for the background, that orange is already in the fabric that Sherry and Chelsea designed. So when I go pick background and I'm looking for the orange, I just need to worry about matching that orange, that coral, whatever you want to call it, to that flower. And as long as those are matched and they're coordinating, then everything is good. So that's what she's been leaning into with that. Now, as far as sewing straight lines, no, there's no real tip or trick for this one. You do have to have a lot of practice. She has a seam guide on her machine to help her kind of stay straight, lots of extra bright lighting so she can see what she's doing, and it's just going to be a practice. It's going to take time. I will tell you, there have been lots of seams ripped out in both of those quilts in an effort to stay straight and stay consistent. So she's doing good though for how long she's been sewing, all of 2 months. I think she's doing phenomenal. Hello, Donna. Welcome to the live stream. She did do a great job on them. All right. So that's kind of what I've been working on over the past few days. I haven't had much time to sew other than that one block and the stuff that I did with Donna Saturday night and the PMQs. Work has been very busy for me. And if I'm being completely honest with you, that is not something that is going to let up over the next several months. I'm very encouraged by this. I'm very excited about the project that I'm working on at work. However, it does mean that I will have less time in my sewing room to sew and quilt and make the videos. And so what you may see over the next few months is, as my time is restrained, there will always be a video on Tuesday nights and there will always be a live stream on Friday nights unless I have arranged to take that time off. For example, I'll be out of town one Friday in October, so I'm not going to do a live stream that day. But there will always be a Friday night live stream, and there will always be something on a Tuesday, maybe a Wednesday, depending on what's going on. Just understand that sometimes those videos on Tuesday or Wednesday might just need to be a live stream because I don't have the bandwidth to record it, make it polished, and edit it down. So as long as you're lenient or flexible with me, we'll be able to get you the content you're looking for. All right. So now I'm going to show you some packages I got. I've got 3 boxes down here. Some of them you may have already seen. And I also have my Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt, which came in the mail today. So I'm going to open this up and we're going to go through this. Judy says, I like the lives. Good, 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 good. I want to tell you, for the Puzzle Mystery Quilt clues, I've been sewing these on Friday nights, and this is clue number 8. I'll show you in the overhead camera. This is clue number 8 for Village Green. We are nearing completion for Village Green. I am working with Cotton Cuts behind the scene to work ahead with my begonia because I get to be a part of their reveal when they show off the quilt when it's all done. So I'm really, really excited to be a part of that. I have never been able to be a part of the reveal, and this year I'm going to be. But I have to have that quilt done. And so what I've done is already pieced my begonia, and I can't tell you anything about it. Like, I've already worked on it, and I'm working on the optional borders to make it a little bit bigger because I bought the extra border kit. So the reason why I bring all of that up is just to tell you that going forward, Village Green, when I sew this on my live stream, I'm still going to do the large clue, but it's going to be in the Bluebell colorway. So this Friday, I'll be working on clue number 8 for Village Green, but I won't be sewing begonia. And I can't even show you what it looked like because it's already being worked into the quilt as I test clue 10 with Cotton Cuts. But I will be doing Bluebell. So we're still going to do it. Just understand that my colorway is going to shift a little bit. And if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that. So that's the first thing that I got is my clue number 8 for begonia. Lives are my favorite. Awesome, Shirley. Okay. Your company while I sew. Lives are fine. Awesome. The next package that I want to show you is Love the lives. You do you, and we will slip in as you go live. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Becca, what do they mean by puzzle mystery? Sure, let me show you. So, puzzle mystery quilt, I'll go down to the overhead camera so you can see what I'm talking about. So the puzzle mystery quilt is a block of the month that comes every month for 10 months. And inside of the block of the month package, you will have a sheet of instructions and a bunch of pieces that are all die cut and ready to go. And so all you do is take this sheet of instructions, it's 2-sided, so there's instructions on the other side, and you sew all of these already die cut pieces together. In month 1, you'll get a little card that gives you tips, tricks, and important dates to remember. And it'll also show you what fabric A, B, C, D, E, and F are all going to be. So as you're sewing through this, it'll say fabric F, and you'll refer to that color card to find your fabric F, and you'll sew everything together. In months 1 through 9, you're building out sections of the quilt, not necessarily blocks. You're sewing clues. And sometimes you're going to make 2 clues. Sometimes you might make 4 clues. It just depends month by month. But you're going to sew those together. And then in month 10, you'll take all of those clues and sew them together into your final quilt. And there are 2 sizes that you do with the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. There's the small, which is about lap size. It's usually like around 45 by 60-ish, give or take a few inches. And then you have a large, which has traditionally been a square, and it has traditionally been 72 by 72, but you do have the option to make it bigger with an extra border kit. And then of course you can always add your own borders onto that as well. So there you go. Oh, you just got a commercial. Let me look and see if I can fix that. 1 second. Looking to see what's going on here. 1 second. I don't mind them on the replays, but during the lives it can be a problem on the lives. I think that setting. If I change that, hopefully they won't show up anymore. I don't know, but I have heard that they're showing up across all lives. So hopefully it'll clear up. So anyway, that is the, I don't know if that will change it. I did something on my end that maybe should prevent them. We'll see if it does. Anyway, that's the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Moving on. No worries. Oh, okay. So the next item that we have is probably an item that you have already seen. This has been sitting here for a minute. It is the August Sew Sampler Box. I absolutely love this box, and I still get it. It's a very economical box, very affordable, and I like the things that are inside. So what I'm going to show you is what's inside the box. We're going to go to the overhead camera. I haven't opened it and gone through the items yet, as you will see as we go through this. So I'm going to give you the overhead, but I am sneaking a peek. Ooh, look at that. I'm kind of intrigued by this thing right here. And okay, anyway, let's just open her up. So right on top of here, you have your little Sew Sampler placard that tells you the theme of the box. It's the golden hour. And then on the back side of this card, which I can't show you until I cover this up, you get a coupon code that for this month is 20% off of Riley Blake Designs fabric. So any Riley Blake fabric, 20% off. The code is hidden underneath my hand, so you won't be able to see that. This is the thing that was jumping out at me, and this is kind of cool. I'm intrigued by this. So this is tearaway quilting sheets. It says it is scribbles. They are 4.5-inch wide pattern, and it includes 4 48-inch tearaway sheets. So I guess the idea here is that you lay this out on your quilt. Here are all the instructions. So you lay it out on your quilt and you just stitch on the design. That's cool. And then you tear it off. So let's take a look inside. Let's take a look inside of here and see what we've got. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. So here's the little thing that shows you what's inside. And then this is kind of like tracing paper. It's really thin. This would definitely eat. It's not as flimsy as tissue paper from like FPP, but it is really thin. Okay. So what does it say to do? I don't know. But it is 48 inches wide, and I don't want to open this up all the way. I will show you, though, on this side, it says you line up here, so it gives you a chance to line that up so your designs can overlap. I need to play with this. I don't know exactly how it'll work, but there is a whole sheet of instructions back here. It says, before starting, baste your quilt using your preferred basting method. Remove and unfold the tearaway sheets from the package. Cut off the top of each tearaway sheet along the horizontal line, which is this, 3 inches away from the top. If using as a border design, also cut along the dotted lines, which run, so you run this, And then if you're using as a border design, you run the one that's in the middle. You spray the back side of a single tearaway sheet with basting adhesive. They recommend 505. You choose the placement for the tearaway sheet, place and smooth on the basted quilt, reposition as needed, and then you just stitch. To elongate the rows or add length, you do that to the backside of a second tearaway sheet with basting adhesive. Align it to the end of the other one, and you just keep repeating it for the whole length of the quilt. So that sounds pretty easy. This does say that it is for domestic machines, but you could use it for your long arm as well. So really excited about that. Yeah, this might be, Donna says you will love it, Becca. This might be a great alternative to having, no, I don't have the rear handlebars on my machine, so I can't do like the pantographs and the quilting from behind, which I kind of would like to be able to do, but I'm not there right now. And I also don't have Pro Stitcher, and sometimes you just want an edge-to-edge design. So I'm really interested to pick up some more of this. The neat thing about the Sew Sampler box is you get a sample or a taste of some of these things. So I'm wondering if I buy an actual packet of this, does it only contain 4 sheets? Or do I get more? We'll have to find out. We'll see how that works. All right, what else do we have in the box? We have a package of fabric, our pressed flower pattern. I'm just going to get everything out of here. Okay, let's just go to the overhead and we'll talk through all of these items one at a time. This is the block of the month. So Sew Sampler does a quilt along in their box. It starts in April of every year and ends in March, I think. Maybe it's May and ends in April. I can't remember. My brain's fried. But this is the pattern that you get, and you can buy the patterns on their website for about $5. It's a pretty little block. I've decided to not do the pressed flowers quilt along this year. I am setting the patterns aside in case I want to do them later. I'll have them. I do think the blocks are pretty. I don't especially love the fabric line that they chose. It's not my cup of tea. I'm more into the brighter colors, but I really do like the blocks and I think they're a lot of fun. So I'd like to have those set aside in case I don't want to do them later. We got a notion. Susie says, yes, it'll only be 4 sheets. Oh, that's sad. I want to buy them in bulk. Oh, Multi-Sister says that tearaway might be good for your mom to use on her quilt. That's a good idea. We'll have to check that out. We did get a little notion, and by little, I mean super little. We have a 1.5 inch Creative Grids ruler, 1.5 inch square. This is super tiny and super, super cute. I love it. I do have several of the Creative Grids square rulers starting at 2.5 inches. I actually don't have the 1.5 inch one. So kind of excited to have that one. That's neat. We did get a small spool of thread from Metler. This is color number something, 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 something. It's like a dark blue. Color number 0907. And I think it's interesting that they have started including Metler thread because for a long time, the Sew Sampler boxes always had Aurifil when they would put thread in there. And now I think this is the second time, maybe third time, I feel like we've gotten Metler thread. So that's interesting. I'm curious why that change. Okay, I got to tell you, I absolutely love the pattern here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little closer up. This is called Sunray. I love those blocks. I want to do this quilt, but I guess we're going to have to get in line. And I really like how we have this secondary design of these little stars kind of in the middle. So it's kind of like this pop of just stars all over the place. To make it, you're going to need some fat quarters. They recommend the fat quarter bundle that is in your box, which we'll get to in a minute. And then in addition to that, you're going to need 3.5 yards of your background, sashing, and inner borders, 1.8 yard of your accent, which are your little centers, your ribbons around your other blocks, and then these stars in the background. You'll need your outer border and your binding. And wow, for real? Okay, y'all, like, I'm just like, what? The quilt size on this? is going to be 74.5 by 74.5. And I'm just kind of over here picking my jaw up off of the floor because I feel like it's been a minute since we got a pattern for a good size quilt. And this looks like something that will come together really quickly. I'm just looking through it because essentially what you're making, see if I can do this without giving away all of the information. We'll go back to the overhead camera. If you take a look at the construction here, you're basically building out 16 blocks, right? 4 rows of 4. And then you're going to prepare your sashing and cornerstones. And that is what's going to make the secondary design of all of those little stars. I want to do this. This has to go. I don't have bandwidth to do this in 2023, sadly. So I will have to set this aside. And once I get my other projects done, I want to do this in 2024. Ooh, I feel like I've seen somebody already do this already. So, all right. How did the heck do you even hold that tiny ruler, Kelly says? Very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. Teresa Louise, Kelly is saying Teresa Louise is doing the quilt along for the pressed flowers. Awesome. I am not. If you want to sew it with somebody or if you want to see how they did it, go check out Teresa Louise. You can do exclamation Teresa in the chat and I'll get you a link to her channel. All right. So the fabric, what did we get? We got a fat quarter bundle. Ugh. Excuse me for a moment while I poke the plastic with a pin to start cutting it. And then go through. Awesome pattern this month. It looks like an easy sew. It really, really does. I'm kind of excited to do that. Because listen, look at this, right? Remember that quilt that Mom just did? What did she do? She took a square and added borders to it. That's essentially what you're doing here. Boom. Easy. Easy peasy. I feel like that's something Mom could even do. All right. So our fat quarter bundle is Life, A Day in the Life by Echo Park Paper Company for Riley Blake Designs. And I don't like to take the, oh wow. Okay, I'm going to talk about this for a minute. I don't like to take the whole thing apart, so I'm just going to kind of tuck the ribbon out of the way so I can flip through this. I'm going to tell you right now, this fabric right off the top of the head, right off the top, it's not the same as, but it feels similar to color-wise the Farmer's Daughter fabric from Lala Boutique. This fabric in particular is definitely giving me that vibes. The color palette, and this one too, the color palette isn't exactly on point with that, but it's dang near close. And that Farmer's Daughter fabric from Lala Boutique, it came out the year I started quilting. And I was, maybe the year after, I was in love with this fabric. But that was back when I was like, oh, I can't spend that amount of money on a fat quarter bundle. And sometimes I still think that. But when Christmas time came around, I took that opportunity to put the fat quarter bundle on my Christmas wish list. And my husband got me an entire fat quarter bundle of the Farmer's Daughter fabric. And I still have a few pieces of it left. I have a bin of scraps that I will never get rid of because I'm going to use every last inch of that fabric because it was special fabric to me. And this is in that bin. This reminds me a lot of that. And I actually think I would want to make this pattern with this fabric. So win-win right there. So that is the sew sampler box. I feel like I covered everything in there. I do want to put everything back in the box so I keep it all nice and tidy. We'll put the patterns down on the bottom, fabric, notions, and then I was going to say, didn't we get another notion? Yes, we got another notion. It was huge. We got this notion. So I'll put this all back together. I am interested to see how those work. She is also one of my favorite fabric designers, Susie says. I love her. Stinking awesome. Okay, next up, we have 2 more boxes that we're going to go through, and I have not opened either of these. They just came in the mail yesterday or the day before, so they're relatively new packages. So spoiler alert, for those of you that don't want to see an unboxing of the Common Thread subscription box or the Ginger Quilter box, you might want to consider muting me and walking away. Don't turn off the video. I could use the watch hours. Or if you're watching it on replay, just mute me and walk away. No, I don't know. Look away now. This is your warning. We're about to get into some spoilers. I feel like with the Sew Sampler box, that thing's been out for 3 weeks. You've already seen the box or you already got yours. So that's why I didn't really give you a spoiler alert there. But we're going to do these now. I'm going to grab my box cutter that a lovely subscriber sent to me and I still use. We'll cut the tape on this one and we'll go straight to the overhead camera. And this is what we've got inside. Definitely some fall vibes going on here. Got some tissue paper that says thank you. Ooh, we got a Tootsie Roll. I love Tootsie Rolls, so I'm going to set that aside. And I'm just going to try to take everything out of the box so I can look at it a little bit closer. Ooh, oh, fun. Okay, okay, okay. Get off of there. I don't want all this brown stuff. I like that they do it, because it definitely adds to the packaging, but I also don't like that they do it because I always feel like it's messy. Fortunately, it does seem to be pretty much self-contained. I'm making sure I didn't leave anything in there. Nice size box. That's a good box to reuse for shipping too. So we'll set that down here for now. I did end up with 3 Tootsie Rolls, which I am going to enjoy and not share with any of you. Haha. All right, so let's see. I'm going to set that aside. We'll look at that last. The first thing that we have is the, oh my gosh. Okay, I love Jim Shore. Like, I love Jim Shore. And I really love, like, I love his figurines so much. And that's what this is. It's a Jim Shore figurine book, which we'll get to in just a second. It's a coloring book, so I'll flip through this. The thing that I love about Jim Shore, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can get a better close-up of these pages, and I'll just kind of do like that. The thing that I love about the Jim Shore figurines is they always have like quilting elements worked into them. So here's Jim in his workspace doing his drawings. Yes, I said drawings. Here's a view of all of his figurines he's enjoyed creating. And then as you flip through the book, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. You have different gnomes. You've got Ruby. You've got Claus. You've got Sprout. You've got Buzz. And you've got Posy. And then you have all of these extra pages, which on the backside there's a quote. Introducing Francois the Gnome to be a rainbow in someone's cloud by Maya Angelou is the quote there. And then you have this. So I'm guessing that this is Francois the Gnome. The next one is Casper. So I'm going to show you what I have here. It's a double-sided notebook. This side is a gnome coloring sheet that you get to color in. And then on the back side, I'll flip it over, is this little piece. So on the back side of that, it would help if I could get it in frame. On the back side, you have a quote, and then it tells you the gnome's name. So wait a minute. No, Jackie, I have not seen Tulip Pink's coloring book, and I need to because I think that would be fun. All of these pages can be removed easy. It has the perforation across the top. I'm not going to show you each one in here, but I will tell you that this is a lot of fun. I think this is great, and I want to keep it for me, but I would be willing to buy a couple more of these as gifts for some friends that I know are huge gnome lovers. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, me too. Constance says, says Jim Shore is awesome. I love his winter Christmas figurines. It looks like the 20s to 30s eras. Yep. Sandra says, I've been a fan of his for years. He designs honoring his mom's quilts. Awesome. Michigan Gal says, I discovered him on QVC and loved him, including quilt designs in his products. So. Becca, I thought you decided to cancel subscription boxes. Did you reconsider? I have actually canceled subscription boxes. So the Sew Sampler I did not cancel because I feel like that was very affordable at $30 a month. I could swing it with my budget, and I more often than not enjoy what I get in that box. So I just kept that one for me. But the other two, the one that I'm showing you now, was a gift from a subscriber. I'm not paying for this. A friend, I know who the subscriber is, She paid for this to come to my doorstep, and I enjoy getting this, but I also really enjoy sharing it with you. So I'm just doing that on a live stream. And then the Ginger Quilter box, I did cancel my subscription to that, but Natalie asked me if I would still be willing to share the box on social media if she just sent it to me. So I'm getting that one for free as well. I'm only paying for one, and it's Sew Sampler, and I'm getting 3 boxes. Just full disclosure, this is a box I did get for free because it was a gift from a subscriber. Hope that answered your question. How is your mom doing after her fall? She's fine. Actually, she's not had any. She commented the day after, or maybe 2 days after, that she thought she would be sorer than she was. So that's good. Let's get back to the items that were in this box. So we've got our project, which I will zoom out so you can see a little bit more. There we go. This is the Autumn Waltz panel with borders pattern. So we have everything that we need in here for the pattern. And then they have given us the panel, which is right here in the middle. I'm not going to open it up, but I do want to show you that we got the full panel of the scarecrow. And then we have all of these coordinating fabrics to make the borders. So we've got this. And I'll open them up a little bit so you can see too. I don't know how much we have of each one, but my guess is that we would have however much the pattern called for. So I'm just going to focus on showing you the pieces that are in here rather than measuring everything out. They do seem, I don't know much about this box, I'm learning as I go, but it does seem to be very focused on giving you a project to work on rather than fabric to put in your stash. So that's what we've gotten this month, all of this fabric and the pattern and some buttons. Now I'm going to tell you, like I said, I don't know anything about this box because it was a gift. So I don't know how much it cost. I don't know anything, but I do know where you can sign up for it if you wanted to. And if you do !thread in the chat, you'll get a link to their quilt shop directly to the page where their subscription boxes are, and you can navigate that. They do have an online quilt shop presence. So if you're not into the subscription box, but you want to shop something else, their store is linked through !thread. Who is the designer of this fabric line? The panel is from, let's see if we can get this up here. Oh, that's cute. Look, we've got these bonus little blocks down at the bottom, which you can see here. And the fabric looks like it is Marcus Fabrics, Autumn Waltz, Material Girlfriends is the name of the line. So there you go. It's upside down for you, but there you go. And as far as the other fabrics, I don't have enough of the oh, nope, that's the same line. I can see there on the salvage. I'm just going to do a spot check on a few of them. Yep, same line, Marcus Fabrics, Autumn Waltz. I'm just going to double check a few more. I can't tell on this one. I can't, Autumn Waltz, Material Girlfriend. Marcus Fabrics doesn't say the line. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think all of this is from the Autumn Waltz line by Marcus Fabrics, or Material Girlfriend by, oh, the box is $39.99. Very affordable. Cool. So the quilt, for those of you that are going to ask, because somebody's going to ask, I would ask, the quilt will measure 42 inches by 62 inches. Yep. And it looks like we do have all of the fabric to make the quilt top. Very nice. Not a big autumn color fan. I don't like fall colors, but you know who does? My mother. And this looks like a good project for her to cut her teeth on some other fun items, like the other blocks is what I mean to say. So I might set this aside for Mom to do when she comes back. I think she would like to do that. So we'll put all this together. We do have those buttons as embellishments, which I think would be kind of cool too. Okay. So that is the box from the Common Thread. The last box that I have for us is the Ginger Quilter box. This is another project-based box. I did not pay for this. Natalie from Ginger Quilter sent it to me for free in exchange for me opening it in a video. And so that's what we're going to do right now. Let's dive in. I just cut the tape. I haven't seen what's in here. And this is honestly, this is one of my favorite boxes to get. Let's see what we've got. All right, so inside we've got some orange tissue paper, and her normally very bright colored pattern has Halloween colors. So I'm gonna guess this is gonna be a Halloween themed box. We've got all of our, oh my gosh. It is. We've got all of our documentation right on top, our little pamphlet that tells us about everything inside of it. And the neat thing about this is she kind of writes a little description, which I'll put up here so we can see it as we go. It's a little description that walks us through why she put what she did in here. And she starts off this month by saying, "Boo! Welcome to the Gone Baddie Box. We're diving into Halloween a little early so that you can sew up this adorable tabletopper quilt in plenty of time for the spooky season. I hope this project will be an enjoyable one for you and get you into the haunted holiday spirit." Now, the one thing that Natalie does a little bit differently, I think a lot of boxes do themed boxes. I think Monique from Open Gate Quilts did the same thing. She curated a special Halloween box that she sent out. I think she called it the Boo Box. And if you want to see what that looks like, Ian did an unboxing of it. And I don't know if he sewed it last Sunday or will be sewing it this Sunday. I feel like he sewed it last Sunday. So definitely go check out the Off Kilter Crafter Ian, exclamation Ian in the chat will get you a link to his channel. Everything about Monique's Open Gate Quilts Halloween box, which is sold out, gone, done, whatever is out there. But I just wanted to give her a plug because I know Halloween is one of her favorite holidays too. So this, what Natalie does with the Ginger Quilter is she curates the holiday box a month ahead and includes it in her subscription. So for example, if she's going to do a Christmas themed box with a Christmas project, she gives it to you in November so that when she ships on November 1, because that's when she ships the first of every month, you have enough time in November to get that sewn up and quilted if you're really diligent before Christmas hits, and then you can enjoy that project that Christmas season instead of getting it in December, sewing it in December or January or whatever, and having to wait a whole year to use it. I love that. So all right, let's take a look at the items that are inside of here. The first thing that we have is, let me just look inside. Okay, this is her pattern. This is a pattern that Natalie actually wrote for a Ghost Buddy plush. And I'm looking to see what she said about the pattern. Huh. Nope. There's nothing in here. So this is just an bonus pattern, I guess. She didn't write anything about it. But here is the pattern that we got that she did write about. She said that this is, oh, I want to do this. Ah, I want to do this. Oh my gosh, I want to do this. I'm not normally a Halloween fan, but I'm a fan. Check that out. Stop there. There it goes. She says that the Baddie Pumpkin pattern by Emma Rooney Designs is what she has pulled for us this month. She is so excited for all of us to make this pattern. It's written by Emma Rooney Designs, whose patterns I have come to love. This pattern looks a lot more complicated than it is, and the scariest part is the bats, and they're actually quite simple once you see how they're made. You'll get lots of practice with half square triangles and snowballed corners. If a tabletopper is not your style, there's also an option for a table runner, or you could add a border or two for a throw size quilt. So let's see if I can show you what that looks like. Maybe you could do a pillow, you could do mini quilt. Yeah, I don't see it in here for the, I see a mini quilt, but I don't see a table runner. So anyway, that's really cute. So cute, so cute. Redo your list of things to do, Kate said. Listen, this might just have to wait till next year. Although, I will say, I do have a collab coming up with Ian, Tiffany, and Teresa at the end of this month. And we all have to do something Halloween themed because it's going to be a Halloween collab on Ian's channel. And I'm wondering if that means that I can do this project, because I actually don't have anything else pulled. So maybe I'll repurpose the fabric and the pattern from this box to be the project that I do with Teresa, Tiffany, and Ian. We'll have to see. TBD. All right, so let me show you a couple of other things that are in the box, or all of the things. We have this. I don't know what this is. Let me see where. Okay, I think it's just the hat for the for the plush, but she hasn't written anything about it, so I'm just going to set that aside. So just heads up, you've got everything to make that. What else do we have in here? Okay, this is good. Yum, yum, yum. We have a swirly Halloween lollipop. She said, my absolute favorite Halloween candy is Reese's, but it's still too warm in lots of states to send chocolate. So I'm sending the next best thing. This pretty swirly lollipop is giving me spooky carnival vibes, and bonus, it's apple flavor. It's apple flavor, but black, orange, and white, which is going to throw my brain for a complete loop. We have a Notion in here, which is the quick quarter tool, and this is hilarious because I had one of these and in a smaller size, and I literally just gave it to my mom and showed her how to use it. So the way this Notion works, you'll notice there's some ridges going down here. You can line this up, putting each of these ends at the corners of a square piece of fabric, and you can draw in these crevices, take a pen and put it in the crevices to draw on your fabric, a line going corner to corner. And, or, depending on what you want to do, you can trace a line on either side of this tool to draw a line that is exactly a 1/4 inch away from the middle of that. So if you are the type of person that needs to draw your lines and stitch on them, not only can you draw the center line, but you can also draw the 1/4 inch lines and just stitch directly on the line. So Kelly said, I think I have to tweak my to-do list at least twice a month. I think we're all in that boat. We have to tweak it once in a while. All right, there is a piece of, oh, by the way, this is the fabric. So look, it's everything. We've got the button eyes, the fabric, the interfacing, the hat, and the pattern. So there's nothing in there about all of this, but this is in my box. So maybe that's what I'll do on the live with Ian. I do want to show you, okay, this is great. This is totally me. We got a piece of wood art. She said it's Halloween wood block decor. She said Halloween is tied for Christmas in the fun home decor department. In my opinion, at least in my opinion. So I'm sending you a small little decor block to spice up your space, and a candle next to this extra cute phrase block in your house. Add a candle next to this cute phrase block, and your house will look extra festive. I love all things pumpkin spice. This does not need to be out only during Halloween. It can be out year round. Thank you. How much is this box? I think it's $60 a month. Oh, and by the way, listen, I keep finding little extras to go with the boo cushion. There's there's the hat, there's the broom, there's the eyes. So literally everything you need for that. Is anybody else laughing at me? Because I am. Okay, yes, the box is now empty. Now this is the fabric that we got to make dun, 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 this pattern. She gave us the Hey Beautiful fabric by My Mind's Eye, and she said, at first I was drawn to the costume cats in this line, but then I fell in love with the plaid and with the little ghost. You will have enough fabric in this bundle to make your bats in 4 different prints and your pumpkins in 3 different prints. You also have a full yard for the backing on this quilt and a little bit of add a little bit of batting and you'll be totally set. So she has given us enough fabric to make all of the pumpkins in 3 different prints. So I'm going to guess that, wow, all of the pumpkins? Because there's a lot of pumpkins on there. Or are we only going to be able to make 3? I don't know. We'll have to look at that. But we've got our 3 prints in here that are orange. We've got this one. Ooh, that one. No, it's 4 different prints for the pumpkins. I'm sorry. 4 different prints for the pumpkins. That one and that one. That's cute. And then for the bats, this is the pile of fabric for the bats. We have this black, 4 different blacks. Okay, so I've got 4 oranges instead of 3 like the thing said. So I feel like I got more fabric than maybe what she put in there. We've got 4 oranges and 4 blacks. And then we have a full yard for the backing. I don't know which one of these is the backing. I'm going to guess it's maybe this. I'm going to guess that I don't know which one's which. I'd have to pull it out and measure it, and I'm not ready to do that. But I have enough to put together the mini quilt top plus the backing. All I have to do is bring my batting, and the fabric I think is actually really cute. I'm not a big Halloween fan. Oh, and then I've got this. I forgot this. Okay, yeah. I'm not a big Halloween fan, but I really do like this line. This is cute. I'm kind of excited to work on this. Aren't the cats just the cutest? Yes, they are. I like toast with sugar and pumpkin pie spice instead of sugar and cinnamon. I'll have to check that out. At the end of the pamphlet, she says, looking forward, I am ready for fall. The October box will be full of cozy and warm fall tones, and I can't wait to put the finishing touches on all those goodies for you. I am excited to see what she curates for fall for the next month's box. So that'll be a lot of fun. I think I'm probably going to do this project with the collab with Ian, Tiffany, and Teresa. So those are all of the boxes that I had to open for you. And I feel like we're an hour and 6 minutes in. I haven't even taken a sip of my water. Yum, yum, yum. So what questions do you guys have for me? I'm going to stick around for probably about another 10 or 15 minutes. I promised a little bit of Q&A. So I think I've been paying attention to the chat as those come in. However, maybe I missed one. So if you have a question for me, now is a great time to ask it. I've got the chat up. I'm looking at it. I'm reading it as it comes in. And while I'm doing that, I'll just kind of go through and read some of the things that I saw. Joanne Showalter says, oh, I just found one of those at a thrift store today. And I guess she's talking about the pumpkin spice little thing. Kelly says, I have no time to do any Halloween projects. Unfortunately, maybe next year. Yeah, I've already committed to doing a Halloween project. My dog is barking. Why is my dog barking? Like constant. I don't even know if you can hear them, but it's Beetlejuice. They're playing. They've got to be playing. Really nice projects. I agree. Teresa, I can't wait to see what you do for the thing. Hello, Karen. Welcome into the chat, and I want to show you what I got. Karen is one of my friends that will definitely appreciate this. Look at this, Karen. It is a gnome coloring book. Isn't that great? It's from Jim Shore. It's a lot of fun. I love it. Let's see. How are you liking the long arm from Susie? I don't do as much on the long arm as I should, and it's not because I don't want to. It's because I really haven't had a lot of time to get over there and do it. However, we did get the long arm loaded, and we quilted. Just doing a loop-de-loop all over design. I've been trying to teach my mom and Mary how to use the long arm, so I didn't do it, but they did. And it was really nice to be able to just have the quilt finished. So I love having it. I love having access to one when I am ready to quilt, but I also like being able to share that with my loved ones when they're ready. So would I recommend a Handy Quilter? Yes. Would I recommend the Amara? Yes. But you know what? Handy Quilter just announced the Moxie XL, which is a step up from the Moxie, which if you don't know, the Moxie is the Handy Quilter long arm that has a 15-inch throat space. I think they go for $5,000 without automation. If you add the automation, the whole thing rounds out to like $10,000. Very affordable for somebody that wants an entry-level long arm. The next step up from that was the Amara, which with a frame and everything and no automation started at like $12,000, I think. So the reason why I bring that up is because the Moxie XL goes right between the Moxie and the Amara. It's going to be an 18-inch throat space, and I don't know all the details on it. I don't even know the pricing on what that is, but I'm going to guess it's going to be between the $5,000 and the $12,000 mark, because that's a big jump. So if you guys haven't checked it out already, you want to go over to Handy Quilter's website and get all the deals on it. The notebook is $7.99 on Amazon. Thank you, Jim. I'm waiting for the HQ deal day with the boys at Soya to buy my long arm. I bought my long arm from Soya. I have not had any problems, and I will tell you, I was worried that I was going to have a problem before I bought it, because I'm on the East Coast, they're on the West Coast-ish, right? They're out in Vegas, I'm here in the Northern Virginia, DC area, and if I needed service on the machine, how was that going to work? They worked with me. They had somebody talk through FaceTime calls, all sorts of phone calls whenever I had issues. Actually, anytime I have an issue with my machine, I can call the store and they help me out. So overall, I feel like it was a very positive experience. And if you're looking to buy a machine with Soya, I have nothing bad to say about that. Definitely, they'll give you a great price. They'll work with you and they'll help you get it set up and running. Becca, have you ever been an instructor or teacher of some sort? You really have a knack for it. Not officially. I've done teaching, like coach, like instruction in workplace settings, but I'm not a teacher by trade, if that makes any sense. Like, I've done some training in corporate America. I did take, when I went to college, I had always wanted to be a teacher growing up. It's always been my passion. I love teaching. I love doing all that stuff. I started my college career, my college journey, by majoring in childhood education. I wanted to be an elementary school teacher. And so I took 30 credit hours worth of all the things that I had to do. And after I got through the first 30 credit hours, I needed to audit a classroom. I had to go in and be a teacher's aide for this one class I was taking. And so I went to an elementary school. I signed up to do the kindergarten classroom thinking that that would be the easiest. I think it's probably the hardest. And I left that room feeling so overwhelmed from all the chaos from 35-year-old kids that I was like, no, I don't want to teach kids anymore. And at the time, I I had thought about teaching high school, but I didn't want to do it because I couldn't get out of the 20-year-old Becca brain. And that was, I felt like I was not much older than the high school students, and I did not enjoy all of my high school years, and I did not want to go back to high school. I couldn't look 10, 20, 30 years down the road as adult Becca, grown-up Becca, not fresh out of college Becca, to see if she would have enjoyed it. So I kind of just, I transitioned to a computer, an IT degree. That's what I majored in. For the rest of the time, I took the 30 credit hours that I had towards what I already had. I made those my electives, and that's kind of where I ended up. But because I get excited about teaching and I like doing it, I have had opportunities to do training in kind of like the IT world. So there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. She says, it really shows that you enjoy it. I do enjoy it. Brenda says, I have a sit-down quilting machine and I use those patterns all the time, but I trace mine on freezer paper and save the original. That's a great idea. Georgia McCroy seems to have some information about the Moxie XL. She says it comes in at about $8,000. Awesome. There you go. Just Crafting Around said, I've never had a subscription box. I love the idea of it, especially as I'm getting into quilting more. Yep. I'm not sure kind of what to say to that, but there you go. I can understand that. I'm looking to see if there are any more questions in here. The notebook is $7.99 on Amazon. Thank you. Becca, I hope you didn't mind me asking about the subscription boxes. Thank you. No, not at all. Listen, didn't mind at all. Didn't mind at all. And fully transparent, I didn't pay for 2 of them. So I hope you don't mind that I'm showing you 2 boxes that I got for free. Katie says, we can't hear the dogs. Can you suggest a good, bright, lighted seam ripper? Wow. No, because I've never used one. I don't have a seam ripper in my studio that is lighted, but I feel like I saw a lighted one, I want to say from Dritz, D-R-I-T-Z, that came in a subscription box. and I feel like it had a light on it, but I can't remember, to be completely honest with you. And I know that when I got that seam ripper, I put it in a giveaway. Speaking of giveaways, I want to remind everybody, you got to hold me accountable to this. You got to remind me Friday night. I need to pick a winner for my 20,000 subscriber giveaway. I forgot to do it on September 1st. So I'm going to do it on September 8th. And what that means for you is you have a chance to still enter the giveaway if you haven't done so already. The link is sewbecca.com/giveaway. Boom, right there. Just make sure to go over, fill out the form, and we'll pick a winner live Friday night. And then we have some raffle items that we'll be giving away, but you have to be present to enter and, you have to be present on the live stream to enter and to win. I think, are you guys each picking something random to do for the Halloween collab? I don't know all the details on that. More to come. As soon as we have more information, I will let you know. Donna said, ooh, Q&A time. Pick me, pick me. Melissa said, I did a summer teacher's helper during high school. At the end of the 8 weeks, one of the parents thought it was wonderful that I was going to be a teacher. I looked at her and said, no, and laughed. Greenland Quilter says, I have a clover lighted ripper and it's okay, but I don't like how big the ripper tip is. Is parchment paper the same as freezer paper? No. Parchment paper, I feel like it either doesn't have any waxy coating on either side. It's just like butcher paper. Or, yeah, I think that's it. Or is that wax? I don't know. Freezer paper is like butcher paper, but one side has a wax coating. I can't remember what parchment paper is because I don't cook very much. Tracing on the freezer paper sounds great. Thanks for the suggestion. Aw, Nancy Jean says, and you teach us all the time. Thank you. Dritz does have a magnifying light and seam ripper. Check out the Dritz one. I would definitely recommend that. Linda says, I was going to remind you Friday, but thought maybe it would look like that was all I was interested in, but that is not the case. Oh, Linda, thank you so much for that. Hindsight, I wish somebody would have reminded me, because I said I was going to do it, right? I appreciate you thinking that, but I wouldn't have thought that. So I am asking all of you that are watching tonight, when you come Friday night, say, hi, Becca, and then be like, giveaway tonight. Just remind me. I'm going to try to remember, but I want to do the giveaway right away, as soon as we hit that live stream. And then we can do the raffles that you have to be present to enter and win throughout the rest of the live stream. So the giveaway form was only good until August 31st. Yes, but it's still there. It's still there. So I'm extending it by a week because I didn't pull the winner on September 1st. We'll pull a random number. No wax on parchment. Cool. Okay, I am right. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. Parchment paper is used to keep things from sticking when baking. Fusible does not stick to it. Okay. Y'all should get fabric and a pattern and send them to each other. Surprise! I do know a little bit about some of what's happening, and I will say there is a package being mailed, and that's all I can share. I don't want to give away all of the secrets, but some things are going to happen that'll be a lot of fun. Parchment paper can be used in the oven. Freezer paper is to wrap meat, and it has a waxy side, so parchment paper is like butcher paper, I guess. Awesome. Multi-Stitcher says, thanks, I'll go fill it out. Awesome. So what time is Friday is your live? It's always 8 p.m. Eastern time. And also I'm going to put in the chat, and I will try to remember to put all these links in the description box down below for anybody that is watching the replay. www.sewbecca.com/giveaway. Entry form for 20K giveaway. And I will paste that 5 times. So if you are watching here and you have not entered, that link is now in the live chat. Rachel says, oh, hello. How is everyone? It's been so long since I've been able to catch a live. Hello, Rachel. So there's the link for the 20K giveaway. Don't forget to fill that out. We're going to pull the winner probably like 8:15 Eastern time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time, right here for the 20K giveaway. If to that, you do not need to be present to win. You don't. You don't have to be watching the live stream, but it would be really cool if you were here. After we do that winner, I will be sewing my Clue 8 for Village Green and chatting with you like I normally do on Friday nights, but then dispersed out through the next hour and 45 minutes, I've got several mystery packages that we're going to give away. We're going to raffle off. And in order to be entered into the raffle for those, you'll have to be present on the live stream, and then you'll have to be present when your name is called. So I hope to be there Friday. I have surgery tomorrow. Melster, I hope your surgery goes well. I hope everything, I hope you recover nicely. I hope you heal nicely. I hope the surgery goes off with success. Like, I don't even know what to say. Good luck. Be thinking about you. All right. All right, 8:20. I've been live for an hour and 20 minutes. I said I was going to keep this to an hour, so I'm already 20 minutes over, and I want to be respectful of your time and spend some time with the husband too. I do have to work in the morning, so we're going to call it quits here. Thank you so much for checking in on me, seeing what I've been up to over the course of the past week. Thank you for being flexible and allowing me to do my weekly video in the form of a live stream. I do like doing these once in a while, so maybe we'll make it a point that once in a while on a Tuesday, we do a live interactive weekly vlog rather than just doing a weekly vlog. It's a little less pressure on my shoulders, know what I'm saying? And you get to interact with me. So there you go. Oh my goodness, Teresa says she just squared up 150 half square triangles. Oh my gosh. Janny said that she received the order. Thank you so much. You're welcome. And by the way, I did see that somebody else bought one of the scrap bags, and they seem to like it. So awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Don't forget to catch me Friday night. I'll see you guys all then. Bye. All right. Bye.